Oh, caught in a Twitter chat. Whoa, ooh, blah, blah, blah. So I watched the Dr. Shiva the Twitter talks, where he talks about systems. And now you might be wondering, who is Dr. Shiva? Dr. Shiva is a guy who came from India as an immigrant, or maybe a refugee, but I don't think so. But he came from India to America as a immigrant, and at 14 years old, he started writing code, like 50,000 lines of code, something like that, and he developed the first email. And he was explaining how the CC in email means carbon copy. And he is super interesting guy, because he is who is he? He's a MIT PhD, and he specializes in systems and the immune system and stuff like that. So how did I find out about this guy? So I listened to the Sam Tripoli Tinfoil Hat podcast, and he went on there and he was going nuts, and he swears at everyone. He swears at Joe Rogan, he swears at Tulsi Gabbard, he swears at Tucker Carlson, he hates Robert F. Kennedy, he hates the Republicans, he hates the Democrats, and he is a very, very, very smart guy. But there were some things that he said that made a lot of sense to me. Like, one of the main things I thought about what he was saying is that when the whole flu started going around, that he treated a doctor with vitamins and IV and this and that. And the real thing to think about there is, do you really believe that if you're a mechanic and a mechanic stuck on the side of the road and they think that there's a problem with their radiator, do you think that they're not going to try to fix it or address the situation themselves? They might not be telling everyone else what's going on, but they will save each other or save themselves if they have to, because it is an us and it is a them. So he went after everyone. He's a guy that made email. He is a guy that came out very first at the beginning of the pandemic and said that he warned Trump about getting everyone the poke, right? And he said that one thing he said that was super interesting was that for everyone to be completely isolated is worse than being overweight, is worse than alcoholism and everything, because our immune systems to function better need to be outside constantly testing our system, because he's a systems guy. And he looks at the broader picture of everything, the whole chessboard, not just certain pieces and stuff like that. Now, one of the things I found weird was that he red-pilled me too much. And let me explain. He was saying that everyone, Tulsi Gabbard, she's an agent of the state, she's an actor. He was going after Robert F. Kennedy. He was going after Joe Rogan. And the thing is that, like, he said in there that he says that Joe Rogan and Robert Kennedy are RFK Jr. or Robert Kennedy Jr. came out only after everything had been disclosed. So once the whole medical thing went down, only after did they start saying that they don't approve of different pokes, and they only came out and took a stance after everything had done. After he says the pharmaceutical business had made trillions of dollars, after they made their first $1 trillion or whatever. And so that was one thing where I was like, okay, so these guys are all just a bunch of crooks. But the bigger thing is that, like, you know, all of a sudden, here you come, and everyone I looked up to before is just a complete idiot. And it's like a super elaborate way of making us hate everyone. I think that some people just don't know for sure what's going on, but I will say that the Dr. Shiva guy is incredibly intelligent. And there was another thing he said in there that Robert Kennedy Jr. was endorsing Hillary, right? And that, you know, he's a systems guy, so he should know that if you only have basically two options and you really have only one option, it's not like you actually have a multiple choice system where you can choose your different political preferences. So he says that he systematically figured out how he was booted from the election that he should have won. So there's that side of it where you're so smart, why would you roll with the Republicans? If you're that smart and sophisticated, don't you think that you would have had the foresight to see what was going to happen? So those are my two things that I felt a little weird about. Was one, you're shitting on all the people's heroes in the dark time, and now you want us all to jump ship, but you're too smart, and it's hard for people to know if they're coming or going. So you're completely directionless. And it's interesting to see that he was going after Elon, he was going after Bill Gates, he was saying that he was at MIT, he's at MIT right now, and that he's right outside the Bill Gates building, and it's $1 billion building, and this and that, and about how it was just the way he was just able to shit on every single person with such fervor and zeal. It was amazing. It was like super, the whole time I was listening very, very closely. But I didn't make this video with super cuts and crazy editing. I just came out here to tell y'all what I saw and what I heard. And if you like this video, please subscribe. I'm not trying to sell you anything. And know that there are things going on out there that go beyond the eye. And if there's anything we learned in 2022 for red pill people, is that we are living in a time where we know there's rampant censorship, and that the feeds and the internet and everything doesn't really reflect what actual humans are typing on the screen. Like when Elon Musk says that Twitter is 90% bots. One, did they all just go away? Two, if you're on Twitter and you're talking to bots, how do you even know you're having a real experience or you're just being brainwashed? So these are the things where it's just like, you know, I got very red pilled today, but I don't want to live in a fantasy land. So I took it all in, and now I will just sit with it and just see how I feel and let God guide the way. Please like, please comment, please subscribe, and stay safe out there.